What's up, everybody? Happy Juneteenth, day 19 of 90. We are doing the thing. Hope you guys had a great time with your family. So, today we're going to talk about being a lifelong learner. So, if you're just catching up, we are discussing the 12 Pillars. The 12 Pillars is a book by Jim Rohn and Chris Widener. This is pretty much, we call it a PD, personal development book. I think this book is great. I went over the chapters and now, I went over what the book was about. So now I'm just chopping up the chapters one day at a time. So this is chapter number 7, and it's talking about being a lifelong learner. Formal education will make you a living, self education will make you a fortune. And I can kind of attest to that when I share my story about my education and what I was able to achieve in school and then what I was able to achieve out of school. And a lot of that, everything I'm wrapping around mindset, because I don't think there's ever going to be a video that I hop on and I don't mention mindset is everything. When you choose to change it, it will literally change your life. So, all right, so I'm just going to share some of the takeaways that I've gotten and what I've highlighted. It isn't that you don't learn good things in college, you do. It's just that it isn't what will make you successful in life. Formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a fortune. The point is that if you want to succeed in life, formal education isn't the end all. A lot of times, and I'm sure we've heard a story, and the goal or the setup was make sure you go to high school, well, elementary first. Then you go to high school, you graduate, go to college, get you a degree, and go get you a good job. And a lot of people have done that, but it does, just following that path doesn't always mean that you're going to be successful. And again, being successful is relative to the person that, we all have different definitions of what we all have different definitions of what being successful look like. So some say, you know what, grateful to be able to go to college, graduate, get a job, have a family, work 5-6 days a week, and just, for some people that's successful. Other people may want more, and there's no right or wrong way. However you choose to do it is it's your choice. So, and I don't think we as a people have the right to tell others that is wrong. If you are happy with your 9 to 5 or 9 to 7 or however many hours you work and it's fulfilling you, because there is a need for for everybody. We need entrepreneurs and we need those that work 9 to 5. So it's not a knock on anyone that is a 9 to 5 worker at all. Self-education is what you teach yourself. It is what you learn along the way so that you are constantly improving and growing. You can learn as much about success from an old man putting chemicals in a pool as you can in the fanciest college classroom. And talking to my kid last night, the oldest one, we were just talking about school in general. And I remember when, I went to school, got 3 degrees, education, computer science, American studies. And I was one of those kids where I was in high school. I think I had a 2 point something, just enough to get to college. And when I went to college, it was pretty cool, but I wasn't, everybody learned differently. And I remember when Jamal was in school and we constantly got phone calls because he would go and bang, 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 bang. He just had a different learning style. He loved music, things of that nature. But fast forward looking now, I'm like, dang, had I recognized that then, we would have been able to, teach him differently. And it does, back then it's the kid is being interrupting the class because he's banging on the desk, not realizing this is something that the kid loves to do. And if we could just teach the kids, if we could just teach them based upon what is grabbing their attention, if that makes sense. But we don't. I'm not a reader. If you tell me, and I shared this with you guys before, if it was a thick book like this, I would never buy it because I'm you're not going to hold my attention that long. My attention span is that big. So I always look for little books. I'm okay, I could do this. But if you were to ask me to read and then write a paper, it's a wrap. I'm just forget it. I say it all the time. Give me something to figure out. I am a numbers person, but to read and then write you a whole paper, they still waiting for me to do that. And I was able to graduate, but we'll talk about the people that came into my life that helped me write those papers. Shout out to y'all. But if you have a math problem, I will sit and figure it out for you. I promise you. Okay, so you can learn as much about success from an old man. I said it already. If someone is going down the wrong path, he doesn't need motivation to speed him up. He needs education to turn him around. Learning is the beginning of wealth. Learning is the beginning of health. Learning is the beginning of spirituality. I always say that wrong. But anyway, you got the word right. But true success but the truly successful decide to learn for the rest of their life. So the chapter is called Be a Lifetime Learner, meaning like, you ever meet some people, they just know everything and they never expand. So I'm one of those people, and not to ring toot my own horn, but I love to learn. I don't watch TV at all. Every once in a while you may see me. Ever since power went off, I was no longer interested. But at nighttime when I fall asleep, I'm listening to YouTube. Every chance I get, I'm on my bike, I'm on YouTube. I'm always looking to like expand my mind and to learn more. That's just me. The first is to read books. And like I said, at first, I didn't like reading. And it wasn't until I got with my group that I'm with now, when I learned about personal development. And I was like, man, I have a desire to want to be better. And a lot of things that we need to know or learn is in a book. So I had to sit myself down for a second. And what I do still to this day, every book I buy the book and I buy the Audible. I'll listen to the Audible, but when I sit and read the book, I listen to it at the same time. It helped me to comprehend it better. There's nothing wrong with that. Because I always wanted to be Big Willie, sit up with the book. And, I was like, man, they look so intelligent. I want to look intelligent too. And this is what looking intelligent got me. Wasn't really reading it. Wasn't absorbing what I was reading. So for anybody that is in that space, it's cost you a couple extra dollars. Get the Audible. I'll get the book. I'll sit. It's quiet. I'll listen and read it at the same time and highlight. And that's how I'm able to learn. So it says the first is to read the books. The second is to learn from successful people by observation. And the third is to constantly reflect on your own experiences and learn what went right and what went wrong. So you have to be willing to just step out on faith and try things. And if I could backtrack, I remember, like I shared with y'all, 3 educations. None of them had anything to do with cooking, but I had a desire to open up a restaurant. And to know me is to know. Once I write it on paper, it's a wrap. So I wanted to open up this restaurant. I don't know how to manage people. I know how to cook, though. I didn't know how to teach people how to cook or anything. And that's why I keep saying that I know mindset is everything. And when you walk by faith and just move, things will eventually, maybe not at first, but it will eventually fall into place for you. We literally went from, I remember like it was yesterday, our first day, I think we did like $223 in sales. We went from $223 to 7, 8, 9. I remember a $9,000 day. It was so much. You talk about open up the window, pour you out, blessing, you don't have enough room to receive. It was awesome. And everybody loved the food. Whatever you do, just make sure you do it with your heart and it will all come full circle. I promise you. And they're like, I don't even know how I came up with the chicken recipe. We were nominated all 5 years for Best Soul Food for the Steve Harvey. At the time, it was the Hoodie Awards, and I won Best Fried Chicken twice. And for the life of me, I just always put my heart into anything it is that I did. And I literally didn't eat half of the food to this day. Like, people will come to the shop and they're like, you don't like that shake flavor? I'm very basic. But what I do is I'll just give it to other people to try. And if they like it, I'm like, hey, it's a winner. Did the same thing. I would hang around in the kitchen, whether it was my dad, my aunt, my grandmother cooking. And I didn't like potato salad, but I would taste it. And I knew what it, I'm going to say, I hear echo. Sorry. Okay. I would taste it. I knew what it should taste like. So literally when it was time to make it, I would be like, I would put it in my mouth, chew it up, and be like, it need a little bit more of this. It need a little bit more celery. And I would spit it out. I never, because I didn't like it. And people thought I was lying when I said, I don't have a recipe. This is, and I had to learn to come up with the recipes or what have you. Okay, so back to it. What can you learn from a book anyway? That was his response. Besides that, books cost so much money. And it's just the mindset that we have as a people. A lot of times when it comes to investing in ourselves, even when it comes to a book, to this day, like I'll see people look, and I was there before. I was like, I'm not paying $20 for no book. I'm trying to go online and see where I could get it cheaper. But now, if I walk into a bookstore and I see something that interests me, and the book is $25, I buy the book. I don't, I'm like, I want it right now. I'm not going to wait. Every once in a while, I'll go to Amazon or I'll look on my phone and I may order it right away. But I won't allow a 40 or 50 or 60 or $70 book deter me from purchasing it because of what's in it. Like if we, a lot of the books that we read or looking to expand our horizon, our mindset, or whatever, it's worth it. It's like you're either going to pay, what do they say? You're either going to regret it, you're going to pay for it either way. But it really is all about your mind and how you, it really is mindset. I don't know a better way to explain it. And when I talked about one of the chapters talked about the people we hang around with. So if you're constantly around people that's always looking for a discount, that's always looking for the cheap way out, that's always looking not to invest, that's what you're going to get. But if you start to hang around people that's like, man, the book is $30, buy the book. It's an investment that, if you actually take the book, read it, and apply it, you're going to get that back 10 times over. So when people sit and explain it to you like that and you think about it and it's like, same thing with businesses. Like we'll walk into our family, our cousins, or whoever business and we look for a discount. Personally, I think family should be the first people paying full price. Because if you got outsiders, should never support you more than your family. But guess what? It happens. And I probably got a story for everything. Even when we open up our restaurant, we're here in the DMV, and we knew a lot of people, and we're like, oh, it's about to be on and popping, and not even like 5% of those people showed up. But you know what the lesson was? Don't depend on people. I depend on whatever God had for you is for you. But we'll do that. We'll build something with the mindset of, oh, the people are going to come because I know all these people. And when all those people don't show up, what you going to do after that? You still, like, if this is something that you wanted to do, God will send you people. Just stay the course. And then, you have some people that'll say, well, see, they don't support you. But maybe it was a lesson. Maybe you're depending on the wrong people. Maybe you're depending on the wrong thing. We don't know. I'm just saying that it's possible. I believe, oh, wait, where are we at? Da, 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 da. Oh, books have been, are, and will continue to be one of the greatest learning tools in human history. As for the cost, a man who has been extraordinarily successful always says, it isn't the book cost, is what it will cost you if you don't read it. And that's a good one right there. It's like, oh, the book is $30. I'm not going to pay $30. I'm not paying $30 for no book. Well, guess what? It's going to cost you more than $30 if you don't get the book. Doesn't apply to everybody, but those that do, hey. I believe that your attitude towards books have already cost you a decade or two. And that was me, because I was like, I just didn't like to read. And one of the shifts for me was just hanging around successful people, studying successful people, and watching successful people, and realizing that a lot of people that were successful wasn't necessarily book smart. Like I told, I'm a numbers person, and sometimes we'll hear people talk and things of that nature, and we're like, oh, they're such a brainiac. When you meet some of these successful people, 10th grade education, maybe a 12th, maybe graduated from high school, but it was their mindset and their determination that got them over. So you know what that did for me? It took all the excuses away. Like, if you're not successful, it's because you don't want to be successful. You're not unsuccessful because you can't read. You're not unsuccessful because you don't have all your friends and family and everybody supporting you. You're not, am I saying the right, unsuccessful? But you know what I mean, right? You're not unsuccessful. Let's just say it that way. I was about to say not successful. But what we do is we'll blame it on all these other things, and the real reason is right in the mirror. Pin drop. Okay, so how will you ever grow and expand if you aren't constantly and proactively pursuing knowledge and ideas that will move your life forward? So, here's another one. Here's a simple list of books that everyone should read, and I'm going to read them to y'all. Number 1 is the Bible. That's my go-to every morning. Number 2, sometimes in the afternoon if I don't get up doing it in the morning. Sometimes in the morning I get up and ride my bike first, but I do say my prayers. Number 2, How to Read a Book by Mortimer. I'm a list these for y'all because I'm about to chop all these names up. Alder, okay. My utmost for his highest by Oswald Chambers. As a Man Thinketh, and that one right there, so is he. You need to get that book. As a Man Thinketh, James Allen. I'm getting all excited over here. Seeds of Greatness by Dennis Waitley. Seasons of Life, Jim Rohn, and that's good because we always have a summer, a fall, a spring, and a winter. All of us, even those that are under the sound of my voice, is in one of those seasons. Either summertime for you or it's wintertime. But what's good about being in the season? It don't last always. So if you could just tough it out, and that's another video. But if you could just hang in there, I promise it'll pass. The Pursuit of God by Aiden Tozer. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Power of Positive Thinking. I think every single person need to have this in their home because there's so much negativity in the world, right? We could talk about what's in the world, but what about all the negativity that's right here? Because really, this is where it stopped and this is where it starts. It's really not the outside forces. I mean, we can't control what happened out there, but a lot of times we put emphasis on what's going out there in the world when we don't put the same amount of emphasis and focus on what is going on in our head. I'm going to leave that there. Okay. The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. Greatest Salesman That Ever Lived. OG Medino. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. Man's Search by Meaning, Victor. Acres of Diamonds by Mr. Russell Conwell. See You at the Top. I like that title. See y'all at the top. It's too much. It's too crowded at the bottom. I need to say it. I'm trying to over here be all philosophical and messing up my quotes. Per usual. It says, see you at the top because it's too crowded at the bottom. Anyway, that's by Zig Ziglar. 7 Habits. And this is another really good one, all jokes aside. 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. And when we talk about studying successful people, drop the pen. That is a great one right there. Lessons in History by William Durant. The Richest Man in Babylon, that's another good one. And then The Story of Philosophy by William Durant. So, yes. Which one of these should you start with? And what's not in here, that one of the books that I like, well, I already shared the 12 Pillars, what I'm reading right now. Y'all, this book is so super small. You scholars, y'all can read this book in one day. It took me a couple of days, but you can read this in one day. But it's the lessons that you get out of it. And one that I'll tell everyone, do not skip. If I had to give a suggestion outside of reading the Bible, what is the first book? Well, it's going to take you a long time to read the whole Bible, so let's just talk about the first book you should read, The 4 Agreements. And what I love about the 4 Agreements, and maybe we'll do that next, is that the 4 Agreements will teach you how to deal with, see my mic. My mic's over there. That's why my head keeps going out of the thing. The 4 Agreements will teach you how to deal with people. And when I tell folks this and I say, read the 4 Agreements, it's going to teach you how to deal with people. The response I get often, yeah, because these people, X, Y, Z, da, 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 da. But even more importantly, the 4 Agreements show you exactly who you are. So we'll talk about not making assumptions, not taking anything personal, always do your best, and I always forget the 4th one. Don't make assumptions, always do your best. Dang. My mind went blank. This always happens, but we'll talk about it. But it is a really good book, and the book is even shorter than the 12 Pillars. So that's what I have for you. Tomorrow is all of life is sales. So we will talk about that tomorrow. And then the next one is amazing. That's about personal development, which I believe all of us should be embarking in. So I hope you guys had a great Juneteenth. I'm happy and proud of myself for hopping on here earlier than normal because I'm normally over here yawning while I'm talking to you guys, and just shout myself out for consistency. My whole purpose and intention for doing this 90-day live. Every time I say it, I'm like, did you really tell yourself or agree to going live for 90 days straight? I did. And, I'm sure you heard me say this before, how you do anything is how you do everything. And I have certain things that I want to work on. Consistency is one of them. I'm consistent in certain parts, but again, like even with this whole live and where I'm looking to go, this is something that I get to grow through. So bear with me. I'm grateful for those of you that hopped on. If you have not hopped over to the YouTube, I'm looking to grow my YouTube. My goal was 1,000 followers, y'all. I got 229. Okay, when I started, I had 220. So look at me, that's growth. I'll take it. 1% better every day. If you're not on a YouTube channel, you can skirt over there. All of my platform is BEU with Crystal. And just continue, those of you that have a word of prayer, just continue to pray that I move the way that God want me to move, because when we move that way, it's like you just become unstoppable. So with that being said, you guys have an amazing night. Remember, every day is day one. Be committed to becoming 1% better every day, and then do something today that your future self is going to thank you for. Holla, peace, and good night. I would say with hair grease, but I don't have no hair grease. So probably need some though. Okay, let me stop, because this is where she can start acting. This is literally what I do all day. All right, holla. Holla, holla, holla. How do we end this? Okay, there we go.